So tell me, Corey.
Tell you, Nick.
Tell me how it makes you feel when somebody who's talking about logic and teaching you about logic
my God.
tells you that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light is a true factual statement.
Or it's like it's verifiable. It's a statement that can be confirmed.
Because...
Yeah. Oh, it's his reasoning.
Because Einstein is a very smart man, and he's the one who says it.
Well, let's go through the whole journey. So there was an assignment, and the challenge was each of these statements, is it something that can be verified as a fact, it can be verified true false, or is it more of an opinion and depends on your point of view?
Yeah.
And one of them that tripped me up when I was going through just giving my opinion is nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. And I'm like, well, like that's what we think. We can probably verify it, but when you're talking about like the bleeding edge of physics...
Yeah, we have evidence now that things can and maybe are.
Maybe, but there's also the idea of like, when you get to that level, it's possible that there are things that just don't make sense in those terms, or that we might never know. We haven't run into anything yet that we've given up on, but it's possible that we've missed our window to learn certain things. But sure, so apart from all that, it comes up in class and the guy's like, oh no, that's verifiable because it's true. And it's like, hold the phone, alright? You're a logic teacher, not a physics teacher. How about you back the fuck off for a second? So there are two things. Now, Einstein was a very smart fellow. I got no beef with Einstein, alright? Einstein's a pretty cool dude. Sticks his tongue out, makes boats. Real cool. But there were two things that Einstein got wrong at the end. One of them was spooky action at a distance, is what he called it. What we call quantum entanglement. That's the idea that you can have two particles, entangle them together, so on some level of physics, they are basically one particle. You're like seeing one particle in two places, or they're so tightly bonded that that might as well be how you think of them. So no matter how far away the other one is, if it's like 1,000,000 light years away, if you change the state on this particle, that one will change. And that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Because as we understand it, like if the sun blew up right now, we wouldn't know for several minutes. It's not just that, oh, the gravity wouldn't change for several minutes. It's like, no, there is physically no way for us to know for 5 minutes. It's like the rate of change in space. The rate of change in reality is the speed of light. That's as fast as information itself can travel. So if you had like a satellite out there with quantum entangled bits on it, and the sun just blew up, like that's a problem as far as we understood it before. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And so that's what Einstein said, well, maybe with less F-bombs. But he was like, I
actually hope it was with more.
Yeah, he's like, this is fucking crazy. This is because he lived in Germany.
Yeah.
This is fucking nuts. This spooky fucking action at a distance, you cocksuckers.
Yes, fuck off.
Fuck you. So that one was one he just straight out said, like, no, this was wrong. And hey, who knows? We don't know everything. Maybe we'll discover that that's not how it works and he was right in some way. But we do know that it happens. So he's wrong on that count. Also, there was, I literally just had it in my head, but I kept doing the accent, and it kind of shook it out.
Something else he got wrong.
So, spooky action at distance. Oh, dice. He has a quote, and so he uses the word God, but he refers to Spinoza's God. And Spinoza was a philosopher that uses God as a neutral sense just to refer to, like, the universe or the way things are or the nature of the universe. It's not implying like a conscious, sentient being. But he said God does not play dice with the universe. And what he meant was that when we're looking at these quantum physics level shit, when you're like, well, we have no way of knowing. We physically cannot tell you or could never tell you where this electron will be at a certain time. But we can give you a probability spectrum of like, here are all the places the electron could be, and we can weight it differently. And the way the math works out, it's kind of like the electrons in all of these places at once to different degrees. And he fucking hated that. He's like, there's no way. He says, God does not play dice with the universe. This is not random. There is no way all of this could have worked if this was all supposed to be random. And now we know it's fucking random, bro.
Yeah, hasn't he played No Man's Sky?
He has not. He hasn't played it. He's behind on his video games.
Or as V calls it, One Man's Lie.
Oh, or No Man's Buy is something that they were running with for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There was actually a thing recently. They were talking about it on Giant Bombs. They're like, oh, the people are getting real banana shape about this. And then someone was like, if you go back to the E3, like 2014 or 2015 debut, like, thing, it's pretty... There really should be a point where we treat the things at E3 as concepts and not as gameplay footage. Because the stuff they showed at that first E3 is probably what got people so crazy. It showed, like, animals interacting with each other. It showed, like, much higher density of creatures and more variety in what's going on. And, like, the things that they were saying about, like, oh, yeah, there's a universe-wide war that you're taking part in. And it's like, well... In the real game, you run into conflicts in space, and you can help one side or the other, but that's kind of the extent of it. There's not really a simulated war going on.
Not that I've found. Like, I've seen spaceships and shit out there, and I just like, you guys do your thing, I'm gonna go to this planet.
Yeah, you're gonna go down there and categorize and shit.
And then sometimes, like, some guys will scan me and be like, you got some good shit, I want it. And I'll be like, go ahead and try, asshole. That's basically the whole game.
Yeah, one thing that's been coming out on Giant Bomb is a couple people have been saying, you know what, if this was like a $30 indie title, everyone would fucking love it.
Yeah.
But because Sony glommed onto it, because they hyped it into the moon and it was like a $60 thing, that's where a lot of the rough feelings have come from, it seems. I hope I was going down, because I'm just moving.
It's...
Yeah, this is new.
Been alright, so I haven't played it much since I went to like 6 different solar systems, and I was like, I'm good for now. But, and World of Warcraft Legion hit, and pretty soon Final Fantasy, whatever number we're on, is gonna come out, and there was another game I wanted that was coming out. The fuck was it?
I mean, I'm looking forward to Persona 5 in February, but that's a while away still.
Yeah, I want that, but I'm also like... I still really feel like I should play one of the earlier ones just to have the experience.
Sure. Here's the thing. Have you played any of 3 or 4?
No.
If you play 4 before 3, you will have a very hard time going back. Because 4 did so many quality of life changes that if you ever want to play 3, you should probably play it before 4 and maybe before 5.
It's not a real Persona game, but I was playing Persona Q again for a little while. And I got down like to the 3rd floor. The 3rd dungeon, not the...
Yeah. The 3rd area.
Yes. And there's a bit of a difficulty curve there.
Yeah.
Like 2 seemed alright, I had all the monsters figured out, got to the next one, and they're just like, hey man, these guys aren't weak to shit anymore.
Look,
like,
we're done fucking around, alright?
And I'm like, but all these guys, like, I had the right personas for them, and it worked. And they're like, yeah, these are new guys. Well, that's not cool. And they're like, we know, fuck off. And that's how, that was the dialogue in the game, too.
Yeah. Atlas doesn't fuck around. Atlas is the company.
Oh, the company that makes the games.
Itself,
I thought you were, like, something in the game, and I was like, what am I missing? Because, isn't that the name of the thing in... No Man's Sky, too?
No, that's with an A. That's Atlas.
Oh.
This is Atlas with a U.
Whatever.
Atlas also publishes a bunch of stuff, so they published a bunch of those weeaboo games. Like Disgaea was an Atlas joint. But it was developed by NIS.
Don't they mostly do all most of their games are basically anime-ish.
Yeah. They're like a Japanese
JRPGs.
company, and like, part of it was, so they... At some point, this thing happened where they were technically owned by a non-video game company that did like something entirely different, and that company was going under or doing something else. So technically Atlas is a part of Sega these days, as weird as that is. Before they were with Sega, we have not yet seen if this is going to change, but they were really cool about bringing Japanese games over that they knew were not going to sell too well over here, just because they knew that they had this like devoted audience that liked them.
Yeah.
So they, I think, took a loss on some games just to like, you know, breed the community, just to have stuff over here for them. We have yet to see if Sega's gonna continue that trend. I haven't been looking closely enough to know if Atlas is still publishing God Eater 2, if they're still publishing a bunch of weird shit.
Isn't that an anime?
It might also be an anime, but it is a kind of like Monster Hunter-y game series.
I'm pretty sure it's an anime.
They could be.
I think it's one that I watched like
it.
3 episodes in, and I was gonna watch more, and then I watched 300-something episodes of One Piece.
As you do.
And now I'm so far into it, I feel like I have to see where the ship goes now. I can't give up on it anymore.
The latest I have ever tapped out in an anime is there is one about vampires called Blood Plus.
Oh yeah, I watched that whole one.
Man, it's like 52 episodes long, and somewhere like 40 episodes deep, I just suddenly went, nothing happened this whole time! And I just stopped. I'm like, I'm done waiting for anything to happen.
What's the one with like the silver-haired vampire guy?
Oh my god.
Is that Blood Plus?
No, because I tapped out of that immediately. I went for like 2 episodes.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do, where he does the fucking power sequence where he's like, super duper facility, 50% alcohol plant style.
Yeah, he's kind of like stupid, clumsy, and
sure, when he's not in super
it's
cool
like a
badass
priest,
move, he's this like a
it's
cyber
like priest
future
versus vampires, cyber future thing.
Cyber future vampire.
Fuck, what was it
I've
called?
been dancing around the name in my head. It's got one of those stupid names like Trinity Blood.
That might be it, actually.
Yeah, and maybe a subtitle with the word Fantasia in it. You know, like some shit like that. That's just a class of anime. Like, yeah, one of those.
You know, I don't think I ever finished a whole season on it, but I did watch at least like 6 episodes or so before I just stopped.
Oh, Trinity Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt I watched 3. I probably watched 2 because it was on like Toonami, it was on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And I went, no, we're good. I could do something else for half an hour in between a Cowboy Bebop rerun and Blood Plus, honestly, might have been what I was watching.
I don't know if there's...
This has got to be the last area because I actually have to use magic on these guys. Like, I cannot actually just sit here and auto-attack because they do too much damage.
You're still gaining some decent levels from them, too.
Oh, I have not been
You're
paying attention to
probably
that.
up to 50 or more by now.
Okay, cool.
Which means that you must be at the end of the game, because almost every JRPG, when you get to the 50s range, you're done. Anything more than that, it's just if you want to do it.
Yeah. Like Disgaea, if you want to do it, you can get to like level 10,000. And they have content for you. Not as much, of course, as the rest of the game. But they have bonus maps where you can fight the level 9,000 enemies. You can fight the god Baal in Prinny form. Spoilers. But, yeah, the last boss is like level 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do that in the new Star Ocean. Because you play through the whole main game, and the level cap's 99 for the normal game. And then as soon as you beat the game, you can go back and there's bonus content that goes up to like level 250. And I think the last... It kind of feels like a cop-out, because I know the way the dungeon works is there's 3 levels to it. Each level has like 1 or 2 less bosses. It's basically like a wheel. Like you go out, you go through each little spoke and fight the boss at the end of the spoke, and then you can fight the main boss and go up 1 more level. Rinse and repeat. But then, once you finish it the first time, you can redo it and there'll be higher level, and it's the same thing over again. You just do it 3 times. But I think you also have a better drop chance of getting, like, the crafting materials that you have to get to make the best weapons. And that's the only way to get them.
Like in the Diablo 3, when you're going into the Paragon levels, you're getting the super sets and you're doing your fucking Greater Rift 60s, and they're dropping all the legendaries for you.
I'm only up to 55.
I don't remember what number I was on. World of Warcraft came out, and I'm like, okay, That was a good season.
With the Demon Hunter, I'm up to greater. I could probably do better than 55 now. But 55 is my comfortable one where I can I can pay the money and know that I'm not wasting money.
Sure.
To gold, I should say, instead of money. To get the extra gem level up.
Yeah, Diablo 3.
Any higher than that, and I'm just gambling. I'm rolling dice with the universe.
You're playing an outlaw rogue.
Oh, I haven't
you're
tried
rolling
it yet.
those bones.
I have come close to... Actually, one of the days the new content seemed to be lagging more than it should.
Mm-hmm.
I did go and just do a dungeon. Don't worry, I'm on it. I did go and do a dungeon on my alt.
Weird.
Like 3 levels. And I got in like right away. I thought it was going to take a while to get into a dungeon, but people are still playing alts too.
Well, it might also be that like people are leveling up their guy on this new server to play with their friends. So you might have a rush of people going up through the leveling process.
Speaking of which, we should play our gay-ass Worgen on Proudmoore one of these days again.
Yeah. Maybe after I moved, once I'm not burning like 3 hours a day commuting.
Yeah. I almost asked you the other day, but I was like, nah, he's still working to 110 and he's got shit to do.
Yeah.
Now you're there, and now it's the grind. Now it's getting all the cooking stuff, getting all the crafting stuff, getting all the stuff, more stuff.
And then like yesterday I burned an hour because Mikhail was certain that we never did Siege of Orgrimmar because it was too hard. And I'm like, I know for a fact that we beat Garrosh, and because I saw the ending to the fucking Pandaria and all that. And so he talked me into, he's like, no, come on, I've got to lock out. I'm right near the end. Let's just go do it. He was not near the end. He was maybe a third of the way into the raid. And so I burned like a whole hour just going through Siege of Orgrimmar. And then at the very end, he was like, oh no, this looks familiar. So the last, I don't know what he did before, but I think we only fought the last 3 bosses. I don't know if maybe we managed to just get into a 2-person LFR or something.
Yeah, but you probably, made 500 gold.
No, there was nothing gold in there. So I think part of what was happening is because he was on normal, it turned it into a 2-person flex raid.
Oh.
And it scaled all the loot down to 2 people. It was like 50 gold on a boss.
It goes under 10?
No, but I think it's like a personal loot at that point in time. And it's only 2 people, so it's the lowest difficulty.
I'm not sure I'm a big fan... I don't know.
The fact that you can trade the stuff, like, fixes some of the problems with personal loot, where, like, you get the thing that your friend wanted, and he has to just watch as you sell it, because there's nothing you can do. The fact that you have that trade window like Diablo is like, well, that solves that, I guess. Or, like, in a guild setting is where that always used to come up. Because even, like, in this last one, when personal loot was not as big as it is in Legion, it was still like, okay, roll off. Okay, it goes to him. If they made a mistake, it's like, hey, give it to that guy. So you can still do that. It's still like, hey, give it to that guy. You got it, but it goes to him. And if you don't, you're in the shit house.
It's your shit.
Is it, or is it the guild shit?
No, it's fucking your shit. It's your personal shit.
Is it my personal shit?
It's personal loot. It's your shit.
Yeah, it's your shit, but you're in the guild. It's communism.
I'm not in a guild.
Well, whose fault is that?
Yours.
I know. You might not want to be in this one.
Next time.